Welcome, Sexy Wookiees, to another episode of the Sexy Wookiee Squadcast. We are continuing reading Star Wars Wedge's Gamble by Michael A. Stackpole. This week's missions are chapters 9 through 16. I am Telbun. I understand. It's your boy, Sexy Leader.
Hey, it's your girl, Sexy One.
Hey, it's your simp, Sexy too.
Let's go.
Okay, wait, but that whole part, how much was I going? Like, did this just live in my subconscious and this is why I keep writing it in my stories? Because I totally forgot about that whole bit where he's like the rich, mean person and Corin's her little slave boy. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, this is me. This is my everything.
It was a fun
Oh,
chapter.
so you want a slave boy?
No, like that's how my undercover operations always tend to go. So it was perfect.
I mean, it was pretty interesting. Good read. But yeah, we'll be talking about that fun stuff.
Okay, I figured we would, but yeah, I just had to. That was my exciting note. And then Ronald and I were joking before you got here about Wedge's line when he's kind of sitting on the shuttle and looking around and pondering the state of the galaxy, and he just can't believe there are some people here, you know, the Imperials that still believe that the emperor's still alive, and that these conspiracy theorists are going to think he's alive for years, just like Elvis. And I was just like, oh, Wedge, you don't even know. he is alive, apparently, somehow. We don't even know why or how. Poor
Leave
Wedge.
some clues.
We're gonna pretend that doesn't exist. So
Yeah,
that's fine.
this is another time and place. Love your background.
Shout out to Megan who made this for me so that I could simp even harder than I already do.
Oh yeah, official. I love it.
I sent pictures of me with the background to a bunch of people. I was like, guys, look, simp mode has been activated.
Oh
Put on a cute shirt today just for this.
This isn't even her final form.
No, it gets worse. It gets so much worse. Just look at all my fan fiction.
Oh, can we post some of that?
No.
No, okay, not that one.
It's very self-indulgent.
As fan fiction should be.
No one will ever see my Wedge fan fiction, or most of my fan fiction for that matter.
Well, if you do want to see some of our fan fiction, just check out our account. And
Megan has some great stuff up, and then Ronald and I are slowly working on ours too. You'll
see a little bit of all of us.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Original characters, not Wedge.
He'll have to make an appearance at some point. We'll work him into it somehow.
Oh, he will. He will.
Oh,
I'll make sure of it.
But what are your real questions?
All right, let's get to it. Oh, Criff moment. Yeah, you could tell. I had an Criff moment, and I wanted to know your guys' reaction. So, was anyone else surprised that Lou Jane's sister is with a criminal? When they said, that's my daughter, and I'm just like,
because it's our daughter. Yeah, there was a Maury, or what's it? Jerry
Springer, Maury.
Jerry Springer, yeah. It was like that kind of moment. I was like, oh no. And then I was like, Jasmine's probably going to ask a question about, would we forcefully separate them, or would we let her make her own choices? So I was already thinking about that. And since that's not the question, I'm going to answer it anyway.
Go for it. I just wanted your guys' reaction.
I read that and I gasped. I was like, oh no. But as somebody who has in real life seen friends and family members that are with somebody that you're just like, no, honey, no. And, you know, they don't care that, and you don't understand. And he's not like that. And I can do what I want. You're not the boss of me. And you're just like, but
why are you calling me out?
You taking this personally?
Yes. Shoe fits.
If the shoe fits, any of y'all out there, I'm not going to name names. I won't, to protect the identity of the innocent and the guilty. But, you know, and you're just like, it's so like, don't do this. And then they're stubborn and they're going to stick to it. And then their life gets ruined and they come calling back and you were right. And I'm so sorry. And I wish I had seen what you guys were trying to tell me before, every time. So I was like, just save her the trouble of going through whatever she's going to have to go through and just separate them right now. Like, I 100% would have like been like, we need to talk to her alone and like, homeboy, get out of here, and then stunned her and like chucked her like a sack of potatoes in the back of another ship and separate them. Like, don't let this go on. Nobody wants this. And she deep down probably doesn't either. And she will come to thank you later.
Wow, that's extreme. That's like,
Sometimes you just gotta like tough love.
can I just make a quick counter argument to that? How is she supposed to learn if she doesn't make the mistakes?
Because once her head clears and she's separated, then she'll see it for what it is. A lot of time that's what it is. Like,
but what if she just ends up resenting them? Like, how could you do this to me? And her head can't clear because she didn't learn any better.
It's an intervention, you know, you gotta, for the person that you love, because sometimes what'll happen is it won't get to rock bottom. Like, they'll find out that he's cheating on them, and then they'll get their heart broken, and it'll separate without it being a danger. And they'll be like, oh my gosh, I was just so blinded by my feelings and all this stuff, but you were right all along. Like, that's how it goes down in my experience. And so just initiate that separation so that her head can clear, so that she can get some distance from him and actually get perspective and see what everybody else saw. Because it's like, it's intoxicating when you're around somebody that you are infatuated with and you just don't see the truth. So I still think it would be good for her, and she'd end up thinking them. I've seen it happen in real life many times. So, answer to the question you didn't ask.
I mean, I just wanted your reaction. If that's part of it, then you answered
that was
it.
Yeah, I was like, Wedge, save her.
But yeah, you answered it just fine.
Sure. Ronald, what about you?
My reaction is the same as Lieutenant Horn's. I was surprised and shocked that they were going to do something like this, because we only met her sister, Lou Jane, for a very brief moment in the first book, and it was like gone too fast, but nonetheless, the moment was very impactful. And now he's trying to cope with. So I took everything from reading from a Corin Horn perspective, you know, very wanting to help the family, making sure that everybody is okay, but it's not, and not everybody's going to be okay with it. And as Corin had found out, it did not play to his trying to be comfort to this family, because she did not have a good attitude towards him. And sometimes, like, you just have to let it go, let things be, and we'll find out in the later chapters.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jasmine? Tiebreaker?
I went, oh, Chris, but not that actual word. Like, actually out loud, because I was just that surprised.
Yeah.
I was like, what is this world?
Her poor parents.
I know. I was like, damn. But then I started laughing because it's like, that's Patches. And I was like, the way to like comedic relief, I guess. I don't know. That just, and I know he's like this hardened, terrible criminal, but I just keep giggling to myself and I'm like, Patches.
Rude. You never call it that to his face. Then Corin just totally does.
I thought it was funny because I'm like, you know what? I was like, I know, you know, tough criminal and everything, but he just struck me as so odd, but not really odd. That, of course, like, you know, there's got to be some drama. So it makes sense that it would be Lou Jane's sister, because who else would be with him and it would elicit this much of a reaction, you know?
Drama.
And at first I was like, man, they should just forcefully separate them. But then when I think it was the dad that was like, what, we're going to take her freedom away. We're going to make the choices for her. We raised her the way we could. If she wants to make these choices, that's on her. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of do respect that, because it's like, you can only force your kid to do so much. And, you know, at some point they just have to learn on their own, even if it's the hard way. I know you don't like that.
We'll see.
I guess we'll just see what happens with that. I'm very curious. I hope they come back to that, because I'm invested. I'm invested like 100%, like it was some freaking novela.
Yeah, no, that is like a shocking turn. And you can't just introduce us to somebody that we are suddenly care about automatically and then not tell us where it goes. Like I'm sure we're gonna figure it out.
Oh yeah, I hope so. And it would be, part of me is like, oh my gosh, how much fun would it be if like this crazy criminal was actually like the most supportive boyfriend ever and like cared about her dreams and just really cared about her. I'd be like, you know what? You date that criminal. Good on you, because he cares about you.
And I'll be eating my words by the end of this, I'm sure.
But then another part of me is like, I hope she falls in love with one of the rogues, because how cute would that be?
So much better. So much better for her.
Right.
Poor
So I'm just
thing.
like, there's options for this to go well.
Yeah, we'll see. It totally needs to be a Jerry Springer, continuing in our theme of space trash TV shows.
Space Maury.
Mm-hmm. Just have the family like just fighting on stage, ripping each other's
Right?
shirts off and stuff. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I could see the mom jumping on the boyfriend and just punching
Kessel
him.
edition.
She'd take him out. I feel like the
Oh,
dad
yeah,
would
get her.
be just standing there, just like crying, and then the mom
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
like,
he'd
"You
be
want to
standing in
go?
the
Let's
background.
go." Mom would be like, "Throw down now."
Mida's like, I'll get him. Little,
Catch his
little lady.
hands.
Yeah, the perfect host for that show would definitely be Wedge, and everybody's just Wedge, Wedge, Wedge,
Wedge,
Wedge,
Wedge.
Wedge, Wedge, Wedge.
I feel like he'd be so awkward, but so funny about it.
I love it. What's the next question? Before I go on a big tangent.
So we keep hearing about the virus, but at the same time, like not too much about it. Do you guys have any predictions for that? I just found it interesting. Terrible, but interesting.
Terrible. Like, yeah, just the description, and I just love how much thought was put into it of how the symptoms work on different species, how it can spread from species, that working on the timeline and mutating it, and then trying to predict how that might affect humans and how long it would take to mutate to affect humans. But for me, the coolest thing about the virus is it is just devious. It's just this evil plan that only like a really evil head of intelligence lady like Isan would come up with, in that if I'm not going to have the planet, nobody's going to have the planet. I will freaking kill every alien on this planet and let the rebels deal with it. They can have it. Like, what a way to go out. Like, if you don't plan on losing, but if you do, you want to set booby traps.
Oh yeah.
Like that is, that's just like deliciously terrible. And I'm like, oh, like this is like the empire, like the emperor would do something like this. And so to have her be on that level where she's like, I need you to develop this thing, and then we're going to leave them with this mess and they won't even know it for like a month. And then all of a sudden it's going to break out, and what are they going to do? Now they got all this back to, where are they going to get all this back to? Like, it's just sets into motion this chain of events that is going to cripple the New Republic, and they don't even know what they're getting themselves into. And it's just so gross. Like the symptoms and the way that it kills and the pain. Like I loved that it was described like that, so that you really are scared.
Oh my god, I felt it. I was like, oh.
Yeah. And you feel bad for these aliens, and I love aliens. And so yeah, I'm just like, oh no. Oh no, I hope they stop them. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, that's my thought on the virus.
A wise Jedi once said, "What about the disease attack
Droid
on the
attack on
Wookiees?" And yes, I just changed droids to disease.
Well, they did
I
ask,
mean, first of
should
all,
we get some
can't.
Wookiees up in here? I said, no, don't get Wookiees.
I screamed. I was like, oh,
Not the Wookiees.
I mean,
Leave
they were
them
the
alone.
largest world, right? Said something about that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, don't mess with the Wookiees, or our squadron will have to help out.
Oh shoot.
But yeah, nonetheless, this disease, very smart, it won't see, like, it's very, you're right, on the level of what the emperor, or how an emperor would think. There's just no, it's just like the rebels didn't see that everything in the second battle of the Death Star, the second Death Star battle. I mean, they didn't see it coming, right? And they had to improvise. And this disease may be something that this rebellion does not see, so they'll have to prepare. I just don't know if there's going to be any type of uh, person to give warning to the rebellion.
Yeah, how would they
There
even
may
find
be,
out?
because this empire, I mean, it must come from some lab that only from the empire, right? And hopefully there's a warning to out to the rebellion, or the rebellion find out something, and we won't need to face such deadly disease created by Derricote.
Right? Because you're rooting for them to get Coruscant back. You're rooting for them to take this planet.
Yeah.
But you know that it's going to come at this cost that they don't know about.
Mm.
Like, it's a trap, if I may. What do you think, Jazz?
Well, for starters, that was super gnarly to read. And you two know, some of our viewers know, I am a murderino. I read true crime books. I read books on serial killers. They describe in detail what they do. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's not too bad. Whatever. I've seen crime scene pictures, but this made me actually sick to my stomach.
Ooh. But I like that it had that impact on the character too.
Yeah, that I was like, this is such powerful writing that not only is the reader gonna throw up, but freaking Kirtan is dying on the floor.
And then you're like, what a
powerful.
psycho is Derricote that he's just like, yeah, isn't it great? You're just like, what the heck?
I'm like, this is the dude I've been reading about in my books. This weirdo. I'm like, oh, but yeah, no, that was really intense writing, really well done. But I feel like my prediction is this virus isn't going to come into play until later. I don't think it would come into play in this book, but I feel like it might come into play at a later time, because I feel like they're trying to build it up, and I don't know if there would be enough time for that build up in this story. Does that make sense?
No, and I think, spoiler alert, I think the next book is called The Krytos Trap.
Is it?
Uh-huh. And then I think the book after that is called Back to Wars. So like,
yes,
you kind of see the chain of events.
Oh, I was right.
So I'm just saying.
I know. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't remember if that's exactly it. I remember there is a book called The Krytos Trap, and I remember there is a book called Back to Wars. I can't remember if that's the order that we go in from here.
Wait,
I could easily look right now.
Is my prediction kind of right then?
I think so. Honestly, I don't remember in detail, but there's only a few very specific things that I remember, and the way it goes down is not one of those things. So, but judging by book titles, I think it does.
Paging Dr. Yulee. Paging Dr. Yulee.
Where's my man? Is he coming?
Come and save him.
Where's my man?
Heal these people.
Sorry, Wedge. Where's the other one?
Oh, all the men. Could you imagine if they were just all on one planet? Like,
I would die.
Their level of simpness would just explode it like the Death Star.
My brain would short circuit. It would be like that blue screen error 404. I'm just looking, and I would die. I would die happy, but I would die. My simp level can only get so high until I explode.
Well, there's a lot of them on the planet right now. We haven't seen where Tycho is, but I'm sure he's not there because they would probably never let him on this mission. But yeah, if he's there, Wedge is there. I don't know, all these guys. And Gavin's there. I love little Gavin.
Sweet Gavin. I was like, oh, honey.
And how much did you love the description of Coruscant from all their different perspectives coming in? Especially, especially I think it was Arisi and Corrin that come in from the night side into the thing, and it's just describing the skyhooks and the gardens and the towers and everything. And then we get the other team that comes in with Mirax to kind of like the invisible district, and just a description of the culture there. I'm like, this world building is so good.
the descriptions are so well done because it gives you enough that you can picture it, but it doesn't overdo it. It's not like sensory overload, but it's
Mhm.
just the perfect amount that you can picture it, that you can feel it. Like I felt like I could hear it.
Right.
And I was actually looking, and then I think it was Gavin who described some of the smells, and I was like,
Right.
wow, I feel like I'm there.
For me, that smell is such a big one. Anytime somebody puts the smell as a description, like that sells it to me every time. So that's my weakness is, you know, if I feel like I can smell the place, I'm just like, oh, I'm transported.
Ronald?
Yeah, she's the one who would be like, "Oh, what an incredible smell you've discovered."
Yeah,
Can you
you
actually
said that,
point
and I was like, oh yeah.
into your do a little like weather person thing and point who went in from where kind of thing?
Like, and so from the east, we have flying in on the high class shuttle, we have Corin and Reese heading towards the Imperial Hotel. Meanwhile, back in the slummy district, we've got all the aliens and Gavin
Oh man, can
going
we get the
to the
question one more
brothel.
time?
The what?
The
What?
question. What's the question one more time?
Oh, there wasn't. I was just rambling
Oh,
about.
I
No, that
see.
was
the
a question. That was a
descriptions.
really good question.
What?
Oh, okay. Well,
No, Megan's question, because
How did you
asked-
feel about the description of Coruscant? Like,
Yeah, that's a question.
Did you,
That's a good
did you
one.
feel it?
Did you feel it now,
Um,
Mr. Krabs? Are you feeling it
mm,
now?
I more of Mirex and Darklighter because they had some things going on. It wasn't really smells for me with them. It was more of the what can kill you kind of thing going this way. And so I was really trying to imagine while reading it, like, well, I hate things if there's a place I don't know and just, I don't know, it could be a spider or whatever it is. If
Oh,
something
yeah.
falls on me, like, that freaks me out. Like, I don't want to be killed by, like, I don't want to go out that way.
From a granite slug
so-
and a hawk bat.
So you bet, yeah, exactly. So I better have all the, the lighting and be able to see where I'm going. I rather take actually Corin and Reese's way and
Oh, heck yeah. The high
and
class
have
way.
to meet a
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. And
Okay, but,
actually
like-
get the Emperor Hotel, the Emperor's suite. kind of
Exactly,
thing,
the suite, yes. But what about Wedge? And when Yella shows up, and I'm like,
Oh, I
I'm so happy you're here.
I was like, it's her, it's her,
It's her at last.
Oh
So
my
yeah,
gosh,
I am so excited
Oh,
that
that's right.
we're getting introduced to her in this book. I'm so excited.
I mean, I'm
She's
sure
so
that her and
awesome.
Corin are gonna reunite, but I'm just
Mhm.
like, please, please, please let it happen. Like, I just want to see two old friends just
I know.
hug.
And like he doesn't even know where she is or if she's still alive and what her situation is. And I'm like, she's been working for General Kraken this whole time as intelligence. Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
I love it. And she's such an awesome character. Like, I can't wait.
Oh my gosh, I was so excited. And then the pilot,
Oh, do you know who that is?
I know who it is, and I started screaming the second I heard the code name and then the white hair. I was
Yes,
like,
and the white hair and the resembled Leia. I was like, oh heck yes, we are getting
was like-
all the good characters in this.
So I have not read the rest of the Rogue Squadron series at any point, but because of Tumblr, I learned all about this
no.
character.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, it's my wife.
Yes. Dude,
This
how
book
much
is all
how much
simping.
spoilery do you know about these ladies?
Nothing about Ayala,
Okay.
but about God, what's her
I'm
code
gonna
name?
explode. I want to say something so bad, but it's not gonna happen like for a long time. But
So-
I want to tell you so bad.
So about the pilot, like I know a lot, not everything, but I know a good chunk because of Tumblr. But I learned about her
She's so awesome.
months ago because all the
She's
simps for
such
her
a
on Tumblr. I was like,
great
"Oh, I love her."
character.
So yeah,
Ronald's like so confused right now. Just wait.
Yeah.
Just you.
You're
I
gonna
just know
fall
the
in
code
love with
name. At least I
her.
know the code name, and I'm happy enough. But
Oh,
that's
Good
you're
okay.
enough.
You're
Good enough
gonna
for
love
now.
her. She's gonna be amazing, and I can't wait to read more about her.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm like having a heart attack every time it introduces someone. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about this person. And then I get really excited again. So yeah, good times. I love Rogue Squadron undercover missions. And then later when they get like all the other squadrons that come up in the X-Wing series, whenever they do undercover missions is my favorite. Like they are so ridiculous. I love them. Okay.
All right, ready for the last question?
Yes.
So this one is going to be a fun question about Megan, Ronald, and Jasmine.
Ooh, our real personas. Okay.
Are real people. If you were to choose a disguise for this mission, Megan, you should have seen this coming. If you were to choose
I
a
thought
disguise,
of it, and then I was like, no,
All
that's too
too
hard to
easy.
think about. I don't want to.
so if you
Proceed.
yourself, not your OC, but you yourself.
I actually anticipated that you might ask this. And so I started thinking about that and then I gave up on it because I couldn't think of a good answer. So you're going to hear my whole thought process now. First, I thought stormtrooper, something where you're completely covered up, something that people would be used to seeing and wouldn't have a second thought about. So you could absolutely blend in plain sight and nobody would be any the wiser. But then I was like, but stormtroopers, they would expect you to behave a certain way, or like somebody who's a superior might give you orders or try to calm you, and if you're not on the right channel or something, then that could totally blow your cover. So then I was like, well, probably something that didn't look anything like me, so an alien, so prosthetics, so something that's a completely different species and color and maybe even gender. I don't know. Just something that is the opposite of whatever I am. So I wouldn't be too worried about me playing the part. Easy. But as far as disguise goes, as far from myself as I could get. So I know like in the stories, I always make Megan go undercover as like the rich, sexy, high class person because that's easy for her to play. But me, no, I'd want to be really, really, really in disguise. Ronald.
Life imitates art. So Relics, Ronald, is there even a difference at this point? So if you've seen our earlier, or Megan's earlier art of what Relics is or how he goes undercover, I mean, is there a difference between Relics and Ronald from that point already?
You'd be my assistant.
Yes, he was his assistant when we read Most Wanted.
Carrying
I said
all my
at
stuff.
one point,
I was like, why am I a Reese? Why is this?
and probably Relics at that point of Most Wanted would be, well, as I say Relics, I mean Ronald as well. A servant on the ship of that lady who saved Han and Kira.
Oh yeah.
So for this one, I like this question. Ronald would be bag boy, carrying the baggage, making sure things. So basically, that's a very important job. I can play that very well, but nonetheless, very important role in the mission that he has. But yeah, that's the best disguise. And if there is, I'm pretty sure Megan can come up with some sort of, disguise for me as bag boy. He always has to have a hat, so
always.
Let's do a beret for this one.
Sounds good.
Oh my gosh.
Raspberry colored.
Raspberry beret. Jasmine, what are you coming as?
If it's me, I have a few ideas. So one would be if I'm going in with a partner, I can play act as an intense trophy wife. I could do it. I'm very good at it. I've acted this before.
Love it.
That's good.
So yeah, I could, I'll put on the heel. I'm actually really good at walking in heels. Funnily enough, I know people wouldn't picture that. I'm very good at walking in heels. I can fit into like a nice tight dress, whatever. I could do my hair and makeup really nice. I don't always look like this.
She cleans up all right, people. Don't worry.
Yeah, no, I got contacts too. The whole works. So yeah, I would either go in disguise as one of their trophy wives. Hey.
I mean, glad you want to volunteer.
Yeah, I volunteer him. But yeah, I would go in either as a trophy wife, or I'm also very good at completely blending in. Self-described wallflower. For those who get the reference, A+ to you. But Either a trophy wife or as a wallflower, because I could be like a handmaiden or something, and I could just blend in
Yeah.
super well. I'm very good at observing, listening, and staying very quiet if I need to. So I feel like I could do either of those pretty well.
And that's exactly what you'd need on a mission like this. Love it. Well, I'll keep that in mind for future sexy Wookiee undercover assignments, of which there will be a ton, I'm sure.
I could be a really good distraction, or I could just completely blend in.
Yes.
So that would be my
useful and covert. Love it. Well, let's see. Were those all my thoughts? Yeah, we got all the new characters. Happy to be reintroduced to some other characters that weren't in chapters 1 through 9. So we got Iella and Gavin back, and Uriel and the Shistavenian Wolfman. I can't remember his name right now. Sorry. But yeah, all my aliens. And we're all in Coruscant now. So let the mission begin. We know the stakes, and we will see how these guys do. Really makes me want to go right in the story now. So I love getting inspired. Ronald, you've been playing a lot of video games lately. So if you're not already subscribed to our Twitch, head on over there. And Ronald is playing his fantasy as a Jedi. So we are out of the cockpit and into lightsaber combat now. It's happening. And brand new and embarrassing news, we have a TikTok account. So my boomer generation has no idea what to do, but that's why we have Jasmine to run the Sexy Wookiee Squadron TikTok. So go follow us over there, and Lord knows what kind of shenanigans we'll get up to. But as for book club episodes, I think we're about done. So Sexy Wookiees, let's sign off for this week.
Oh, wait, real quick, the chapters.
Chapters? Hello, yes. What are we reading for next week?
Come on, sexy one, get with the program.
It's because I've already got them written down. I forgot.
So the chapters for next week are 17 through 24.
17 through 24 for next week. Now we can sign off. Sexy Wookiee.